the ancient, misty forests of Tasmania, a phantom once reigned, a creature of stripes and shadows. The Thylacine moved through the dawnlit ferns like a ghost. It was the apex predator, a marsupial wolf with a dog's head and a tiger's stripes. Its presence, a quiet, powerful pulse in the heart of the wilderness. For millennia, it was the silent king of this isolated world, a living testament to a lost time. But its reign was destined for a tragic, silent end. The whispers of its existence faded, the rustle in the undergrowth ceased, and the last, lonely howls echoed into nothingness. The phantom vanished, not with a roar, but with a quiet sigh, leaving behind a profound emptiness. Its disappearance became one of the greatest wildlife tragedies of the modern age, a haunting reminder of what we can lose when we fail to listen to the silence. A story of a creature that walked the earth for millions of years, only to become a memory, a ghost in a photograph. To understand this phantom, we must journey back, far back into the deep time of our planet. Tens of millions of years ago, when the continents were still drifting toward their current homes, a unique experiment of nature was unfolding. In the vast, isolated land of Australia, mammals took a different evolutionary path. Here, the marsupials thrived. Unlike placental mammals, marsupials carry their young in a pouch, a warm, safe haven for their tiny, underdeveloped offspring. It's a strategy that proved incredibly successful. From this ancient lineage, a remarkable predator began to take shape. This was the ancestor of the Thylacine, a creature that would rise to the top of its world. Over millions of years, it adapted, its body refined by the pressures of a changing environment. It grew larger, stronger, a perfect hunter for the forests and plains of prehistoric Australia. Fossil records tell a story of a widespread and successful animal. Thylacine remains have been found across the Australian mainland, from the arid interior to the temperate coastlines. They shared this land with other incredible megafauna, giant kangaroos and wombats the size of small cars. The Thylacine was a key part of this ecosystem, a crucial balance to the world around it. But the world was changing again. Around 50,000 years ago, humans arrived in Australia, and another canid predator. The dingo was a placental mammal, highly intelligent and adaptable, and it proved to be a formidable competitor. Slowly but surely, the Thylacine began to disappear from the mainland. Outcompeted for food and territory, its range shrank until it was pushed to the very edge of the continent. But there was one last sanctuary, a final refuge, where the Thylacine could survive. A rugged island, separated from the mainland by the rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age. This island, Tasmania, became the Thylacine's final kingdom. Here, in the absence of the dingo, it reclaimed its throne as the apex predator. The Tasmanian environment was a perfect match. Dense, temperate rainforests, shrouded in mist and shadow, provided ideal cover for a stealthy hunter. Open grasslands and coastal heaths offered ample prey. The Thylacine adapted beautifully to this new home. Its tawny, striped coat was perfect camouflage against the dappled light of the forest floor, making it nearly invisible as it stalked wallabies, possums, and ground-dwelling birds. It wasn't a pursuit predator that ran down its prey over long distances. Instead, it was a creature of patience and stamina, an ambush hunter that would track its targets silently, often for hours, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Imagine the island as it was, a world untouched, where the silence was broken only by the call of birds and the rustle of unseen things in the undergrowth. At dusk, as a cool mist rolled in from the southern ocean, the Thylacine would emerge. It moved with a stiff, almost awkward gait, but it was deceptively agile. Its most remarkable feature was its incredible jaw, which could open to an astonishing 80 degrees, far wider than any dog. This allowed it to deliver a powerful, decisive bite to its prey. For thousands of years, the Thylacine lived in this quiet balance with its world. It was a solitary animal, a ghost in the landscape, raising its young in hollow logs or rocky dens, and teaching them the ancient art of the hunt. It was a symbol of Tasmania's wild, untamed spirit, a creature perfectly in tune with the rhythms of its island home. It was a world of profound, deep stillness. But this isolation couldn't last forever. In the 19th century, European settlers arrived in Tasmania, bringing with them a new world of change and conflict. They cleared the ancient forests for farmland and introduced sheep, an easy and tempting target for a native predator. The settlers, unfamiliar with the island's ecology and fearful of this strange, wolf-like creature, saw the Thylacine not as a native marvel, but as a threat. They called it the Tasmanian Tiger, or Tasmanian wolf, and a mythos of a bloodthirsty sheep killer began to grow. This perception, fueled by fear and misunderstanding, sealed the Thylacine's fate. It was a clash of two worlds, and the ancient one was about to be broken. The war on the Thylacine was swift and brutal. Bounties were placed on their heads. A single pelt could earn a farmer a significant sum, and a relentless campaign of trapping, poisoning, and shooting began. The Thylacine, once the master of its domain, was now the hunted. Thousands were killed. Their numbers, which were likely never vast to begin with, on the isolated island, plummeted. The pressure was immense. Habitat loss squeezed them into smaller and smaller pockets of wilderness, while a constant threat from hunters and their dogs pushed them to the brink. It was a systematic eradication, born not of malice, but of ignorance and a perceived need to tame a wild land. The silent hunter of the forest was now a fugitive, its very existence hanging by the thinnest of threads. By the early 20th century, the Thylacine was a ghost of its former self. Sightings became rarer and rarer. The once common predator had become a creature of rumor and legend. A few were captured and sent to zoos around the world, but they failed to thrive in captivity. They were creatures of the wild, and confinement was a slow death sentence. No successful breeding program was ever established. The last known wild Thylacine was shot in 1930 by a farmer named Wilf Batty in the state's northeast. He saw the animal near his hen house and, not realizing its rarity, ended a lineage that stretched back millions of years. It was a tragically mundane end for such an extraordinary creature. The phantom of the forest was gone. The final chapter of the Thylacine's story played out in a small, concrete enclosure at the Hobart Zoo. Here, a lone male named Benjamin paced back and forth, the last of his kind. He was a curiosity, a living relic. Old, grainy, black and white footage of him is all that remains. We see him yawning, revealing that incredible gape. We see him lying in the sun, his striped back turned to the camera. He is a solitary, forlorn figure, a king without a kingdom. On the night of September 7th, 1936, a cold snap hit Hope. Due to an oversight, Benjamin was accidentally locked out of his sheltered sleeping quarters. He died overnight from exposure. Just 2 months prior, the Tasmanian government had granted the Thylacine official protection. It was a gesture that was tragically, unforgivably, too late. With Benjamin's death, the species was declared officially extinct. The silence that followed was deafening. The forests of Tasmania were forever changed. An essential piece of the ecosystem had been torn away, leaving a void that can never be filled. Today, the Thylacine exists only in faded photographs, in dusty museum specimens, and in the hearts of those who mourn its loss. It has become a powerful symbol of extinction, a cautionary tale for the modern world. Its story forces us to confront the fragility of life and the irreversible consequences of our actions. But the legend of the phantom tiger refuses to die. Even now, decades after the last confirmed animal perished, the search continues. Reports of sightings still trickle in from the remote corners of Tasmania. People claim to have seen a strange, dog-like animal with a stiff tail and stripes on its back, a fleeting glimpse in their headlights, or a shadowy figure at the edge of the woods. Are these just wishful thinking, tricks of the light, or cases of mistaken identity? Or could it be that somewhere, deep in the island's vast, unexplored wilderness, a ghost still walks? Perhaps the Silent King has not entirely abdicated its throne. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Phantom of Tasmania is still out there, waiting in the mist. Deep within the ancient forests of Tasmania, a world lost to time unfolds. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy, painting dappled patterns on a carpet of moss and ferns. It's here, in the quiet heart of the wilderness, that a remarkable story of motherhood begins. A female Thylacine, with her distinctive tiger-like stripes, has chosen a secluded den, a hollowed-out log hidden from the world. She's about to bring new life into this tranquil sanctuary. Imagine this mother, a creature of myth and memory, preparing for her young. Inside her pouch, a warm and secure haven, tiny, undeveloped joeys are stirring. The Thylacine's pouch is unique. It opens towards her hind legs, a clever adaptation to protect her precious cargo from dirt and debris as she navigates the dense undergrowth. After a gestation period of just a few weeks, she gives birth to 2 to 4 pups, each no bigger than a jelly bean. They are blind, hairless, and utterly dependent on her, using their surprisingly strong forelimbs. These minuscule newborns embark on their first great journey, a perilous scroll from the birth canal into the safety of their mother spout. It's an instinctive, desperate scramble for survival. Once inside, each pup latches onto a teat, and for the next 3 months, this pouch will be their entire world. Here, they are nourished by her milk, protected from the elements, and kept at a constant, comforting warmth. The mother is ever vigilant. Her keen sense is attuned to the slightest sound or scent that might signal danger. She moves with a quiet grace, her stripes providing perfect camouflage against the shadowed forest floor. As the weeks turn into months, the pups grow rapidly. Their eyes open, fine fur begins to cover their pink skin, and the first faint stripes appear on their backs, mirroring their mothers. They become more active, squirming and jostling for space within the increasingly crowded pouch. The mother spends her days resting near the den, conserving energy, and her nights hunting. She'll travel 4 miles under the moonlit sky, searching for wallabies or birds to sustain herself and, in turn, her growing family. Her every action is driven by the primal need to provide for her young. Around the 3-month mark, the pups are too large for the pouch. They are now weaned and ready to take their first tentative steps into the vast world outside. The den, once just a safe hideaway, now becomes their nursery and their playground. They emerge, blinking in the filtered light, their noses twitching as they take in the rich scents of damp earth and decaying leaves. Their mother watches over them with a gentle patience, nuzzling them, guiding them, and teaching them the fundamental lessons of survival. This is a time of playful discovery. The pups chase each other through the ferns, pouncing on rustling leaves and wrestling with clumsy, youthful energy. These games are not just for fun, they are crucial training. They're honing their hunting skills, learning to stalk, to chase, and to use the powerful jaws they have inherited. Their mother encourages this, sometimes joining in the play, a soft rumble in her chest as she gently mouths a pup's scruff. She teaches them which sounds mean danger and which signal prey. She shows them the best paths through the forest and where to find clean water. The bond between mother and pups is incredibly strong. They communicate through a series of soft yaps, growls, and whines. When she returns from a hunt, they greet her with excited yelps, tumbling over one another for her attention. She, in turn, grooms them meticulously, her rough tongue a comfort and a sign of affection. In these quiet moments, nestled together in the den as dusk falls, you can sense a deep, unspoken connection, a timeless portrait of maternal love. As they grow stronger and more confident, their world expands. They begin to accompany their mother on short foraging trips, staying close to her heels, their young eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and caution. They learn to navigate the terrain, to cross shallow streams, and to stay hidden in the shadows. She is their protector, their teacher, and their provider. If a predator like a Tasmanian devil approaches, she will stand her ground, her body tense, a low growl, warning the intruder away. Her courage is absolute when her young are threatened. By the time they are about 9 months old, the pups are nearly full grown. They are skilled hunters in their own right, capable of catching their own food. The stripes on their backs are now bold and distinct, a proud banner of their species. The family bond remains, but the time for independence is drawing near. One by one, they will begin to venture further from the den, exploring new territories, their innate instincts calling them to find their own place in this vast, wild landscape. The mother has fulfilled her duty. She has raised a new generation of Thylacines, equipping them with the knowledge and strength to survive. She has passed on the legacy of her kind. Though she will eventually part ways with her offspring, the lessons she taught and the care she gave will remain with them for the rest of their lives. As we imagine this final scene, a young Thylacine, standing at the edge of a clearing, looking out at the world before it, we are reminded of the beauty and fragility of life. This story played out in the hidden corners of Tasmania, is a poignant testament to the power of motherhood and the enduring spirit of the wild. It's a story that, though now confined to the realm of memory, continues to echo through the silent forests, a whisper of what once was. Thank you for joining this journey back in time. Follow our channel for more stories from the natural world. In the hushed stillness of the Tasmanian night, a young thylacine takes its first tentative steps into a world bathed in moonlight. The air is cool and carries the scent of damp earth and ancient eucalyptus. For this little hunter, the forest is a vast classroom, and the lessons are taught in silence. Its mother, a shadow among shadows, moves with a grace that seems to ripple through the very fabric of the night. She is the master of this silent art, and tonight, the apprenticeship begins. The pup watches, its amber eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. It learns not through barks or growls, but through observation, through the subtle language of movement and stillness. The rustle of a leaf, the twitch of an ear, the slow, deliberate placement of apothes are the first words in the vocabulary of the hunt. The forest holds its breath, and in this sacred quiet, the legacy of a species is passed from one generation to the next, a silent promise whispered on the wind. The moon climbs higher, its silver light filtering through the dense canopy, painting shifting patterns on the forest floor. The mother, Thylacine, leads her young one away from the familiar comfort of the den. The lesson for tonight is simple yet profound. Choosing the right prey. Not every creature that stirs in the undergrowth is a suitable meal. The mother demonstrates this by completely ignoring a large, powerful wombat that ambles by. Its size and strength make it a dangerous, energy-draining quarry. Instead, her attention is drawn to a small wallaby, grazing peacefully in a moonlit clearing. She communicates this choice with a subtle lowering of her head, a focused intensity in her gaze that the pup instinctively understands. It learns to read the signs, the size, the speed, the alertness of the potential prey. It learns that a successful hunt is not about brute force, but about a calculated assessment of risk and reward. The pup begins to see the forest not just as a home, but as a complex tapestry of opportunities, each thread representing a choice that could mean the difference between a full belly and a hungry night. The world is a larder, but only for those who know how to select the key. Now, the true art of the hunt unfolds. The mother doesn't rush. Patience is the cornerstone of her strategy. She begins a slow, methodical stalk, using every patch of shadow, every fallen log as cover. Her body is low to the ground, a fluid extension of the dark earth. The pup, a few paces behind, mimics her every move, its small body a clumsy but earnest echo of her own. It learns to control its breathing, to silence the eager pounding of its own heart. The mother pauses, testing the wind, her nose twitching to catch any shift in scent that might betray their presence. She is teaching her young that the hunt is a dance with the elements, a conversation with the environment itself. This isn't a chase, it is a meticulous, deliberate approach. The goal is to close the distance without ever being detected, to become a phantom in the prey's world until the very last moment. The tension is a silent, invisible thread stretching between predator and prey, and the young thylacine learns to walk this tightrope with an inherited, unscient poise. As they draw closer, another crucial lesson begins. The power of teamwork. Though the mother is more than capable of hunting alone, she is preparing her offspring for a life where cooperation can be key. With a barely perceptible flick of her tail, she signals to the pup. It's a command to hold its position, to become part of the landscape. The mother then begins a wide, circling maneuver, a slow and silent arc designed to gently guide the wallaby toward her hidden partner. The wallaby, sensing a subtle disturbance from one side, instinctively hops a few feet in the opposite direction, directly toward the waiting pup. It's a masterful pincer movement, executed with the quiet precision of a well-rehearsed play. The pup feels a surge of adrenaline, but the lessons of stillness hold it fast. It understands its role is not to attack, but to be a strategic barrier, a silent partner in a deadly ballet. The mother is teaching it that hunting is not just about individual skill, but about understanding spatial awareness, anticipation, and the power of a coordinated effort. The night deepens, and the forest transforms. Sounds become sharper, shadows longer. This is the thylacine's domain. The mother leads her pup through the nocturnal world, teaching it how to move when the world is asleep. Their padded feet make no sound on the soft moss and damp soil. They are ghosts in their own land. The pup learns the paths of least resistance, the game trails that wind through the thickets, the shallow creek beds that muffle their footsteps. It learns to use the darkness not as a blanket of fear, but as a cloak of invisibility. Its eyes, already accustomed to the low light, begin to pick out the subtle details the day world misses. The silhouette of a roosting bird, the faint shimmer of a spider's web, the heat signature of a small mammal hiding in the brush. The night is not an absence of light, but a different kind of illumination, one that reveals secrets to those who know how to look. The pup feels a growing confidence, a sense of belonging in this hushed, mysterious realm. The world of the night is its birthright. Stealth is more than just quiet movement. It is a state of being. The mother Thylacine embodies this principle. As she stalks her stripes, which seem so striking in illustrations, work as perfect camouflage, breaking up her outline against the dappled light and shadow of the forest floor. She becomes part of the scenery, a trick of the eye. The pup watches as she freezes mid-stride. One paw lifted, her entire body a statue of perfect stillness. A possum scurries nearby, completely unaware of the predator just feet away. The mother holds her position for what feels like an eternity, teaching the pup the immense power of absolute immobility. She teaches it to blend, to merge with the environment, until the distinction between self and surrounding blurs. It's a lesson in dissolving the ego, of becoming nothing, in order to gain everything. The young Thylacine practices this, trying to mimic her unwavering calm, learning to control every muscle, every twitch, every impulse to move. It is learning that the most effective hunter is the one that is never seen, never heard, never even suspected, until it is far too late. The final moments of the hunt are a blur of controlled power. The mother, having closed the distance, explodes from the shadows. It is not a wild, frantic chase, but a short, focused burst of incredible speed. Her long, stiff tail acts as a rudder, allowing for sharp turns and perfect balance as she intercepts the startled wallaby. The pup, watching from its hiding spot, sees the culmination of all the night's lessons. The careful selection, the patient stalk, the silent approach, and the final decisive action. The hunt is over in a matter of seconds. There is no wasted energy, no prolonged struggle. It is efficient, clean, and respectful. The mother then calls to her pup with a soft, low sound. It is a summons to share in the reward, to understand the purpose of their efforts. As the young Thylacine partakes in the meal, it tastes not just sustenance, but the fruits of patience, strategy, and silence. It is a visceral, unforgettable lesson, cementing the knowledge deep within its very being. The cycle is complete. As dawn approaches, painting the eastern sky in soft hues of gray and pink, the two hunters make their way back toward the den. The pup walks with a new sense of purpose. Its paws feel more certain on the ground, its eyes more knowing. The forest, which just hours ago felt so vast and intimidating, now feels like a familiar, understandable space. The young Thylacine has learned that the art of the hunt is a quiet one, passed down through generations in the moonlit forests of Tasmania. It is a legacy of stealth, patience, and profound connection to the natural world. In the quiet solitude of the sleeping wilderness, a hunter has been made. The lessons of the silent hunt are now etched into its soul, a timeless rhythm that will guide it through all the nights to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you've enjoyed this glimpse into the past, please consider liking and subscribing for more stories from the wild. Imagine a secret den, tucked away beneath the ancient roots of a eucalyptus tree. Inside, a mother Thylacine rests, her striped body a warm, breathing landscape for her tiny, slumbering pups. Her mate stands guard nearby, a silent sentinel, his gaze sweeping across the twilight forest. This isn't just a scene from a long-lost world. It's a glimpse into the heart of a family, a bond of tenderness and protection that defies the silence of extinction. He patrols their territory, his soft, padded feet making almost no sound on the forest floor. This partnership is a beautiful dance of instinct and devotion. As the pups grow bolder, they begin to peek out from the pouch, their eyes slowly adjusting to the dappled light filtering through the leaves. Their world expands from the darkness of the pouch to the vast, green wonder of the Tasmanian wilderness. These first explorations are tentative, always under the watchful eyes of both parents. A rustle in the undergrowth, a strange scent on the breeze, and a soft, guttural call from the mother sends them scurrying back to the safety of the den. This family unit was the cornerstone of Thylacine society. It was their school, their fortress, and their home. The bond between parents was not just for mating, it was a cooperative effort to raise the next generation. We often picture them as solitary, ghost-like predators, but the reality was far more complex and social. They were intelligent, and much of that intelligence was dedicated to the art of being a parent. The forest was their classroom, and every day brought a new lesson. For the first 2 minutes of their story, we've only seen them at rest, in the quiet intimacy of their den. But as the moon rises higher, the real lessons are about to begin. The forest is waking up, and so are the young Thylacine. Their journey from helpless Joeys to skilled hunters is a testament to the incredible dedication of the parents who guided them every step of the way. As the pups mature and leave the pouch for good, the den becomes a bustling hub of activity. This is where the real education begins. The father, a master of stealth and strategy, becomes their primary teacher. He doesn't just provide food, he provides knowledge. Picture this. A young Thylacine, clumsy and eager, watches its father stalk a wallaby. It sees how he uses the shadows, how he freezes, every muscle coiled, waiting for the perfect moment. The pup mimics these movements, pouncing on leaves and twigs, practicing the skills it will one day need to survive. These aren't just games. They are life and death rehearsals. The mother, ever vigilant, often supervises these lessons. She teaches them a different set of skills. How to read the forest, to identify safe water sources, and to distinguish the scent of a threat from the scent of prey. Communication within the family was subtle yet rich. It wasn't just the strange, cough-like barks we've heard in old recordings. It was a language of body posture, ear twitches, and low growls. A gentle nudge from a mother's nose could be a signal of reassurance or a quiet command to stay hidden. A flick of the father's tail could indicate the direction of a hunt. The pups would learn this silent language, becoming fluent in the nuanced ways their parents spoke to them and to each other. This constant communication strengthened their bonds and ensured the family unit moved as one cohesive, intelligent group. It has a level of social complexity we are only now beginning to appreciate in many animal species, and the Thylacine was no exception. Their family life was a world of shared knowledge, mutual support, and deep, instinctual affection. The protection offered by the parents was absolute. The Tasmanian wilderness, while beautiful, was full of dangers. Eagles soared overhead, and Tasmanian devils, formidable competitors, roamed the forest floor. The Thylacine parents were a formidable defense team. The father's size and strength were a powerful deterrent, while the mother's fierce protective instinct meant no threat to her pups went unchallenged. They would flank their young when moving through open country, creating a protective barrier with their own bodies. This wasn't just instinct. It was a conscious, coordinated effort. It's a behavior we see in wolves and other highly social predators today, and it speaks volumes about the Thylacines. Social intelligence. They were not just raising offspring, they were safeguarding their legacy, pouring all their energy and wisdom into the survival of their young. As the young Thylacines approached adolescence, their lessons became more advanced. They would join their parents on actual hunts. At first, they were observers, watching from a safe distance. They learned patience, the art of the ambush, and the critical skill of choosing the right target, often the old, weak, or young. Later, they would be allowed to participate, playing a role in flushing out prey or cutting off escape routes. This cooperative hunting was the final exam in their wilderness education. It taught them teamwork and strategy, transforming them from dependent pups into self-sufficient predators. Each successful hunt reinforced the family bond and equipped the young with the confidence and skills to one day start families of their own. It was a cycle of life, a passing of the torch from one generation to the next, played out in the heart of the wild. One of the most poignant aspects of Thylacine behavior was their apparent gentleness within the family circle. Despite being efficient predators, accounts from those who observed them described them as shy and non-aggressive towards humans unless cornered. This same gentle nature likely defined their family life. Imagine a father Thylacine returning from a hunt, dropping his prize, and then patiently allowing his boisterous pups to tumble and play all over him. Imagine the mother, grooming her young with her tongue, cleaning their striped fur and reinforcing the bonds of affection. These moments of peace and tenderness are the ones we can only dream of now. They paint a picture not of a monster, but of a devoted parent, a creature capable of great love and care. The Tasmanian tiger was, in its private world, less of a tiger and more of a dedicated canine-like parent. As we piece together these fragments of their lives from scientific studies of their bone structure to the few precious anecdotes and flickering black and white films, a clearer image emerges. It's an image of an intelligent, social animal whose family was the center of its universe. The tragedy of their extinction is not just the loss of a unique species. It's the silencing of this rich and complex social world. We lost the soft calls between a mother and her pup, the patient lessons of a hunting father, and the quiet security of a family den. We lost the entire culture of the Thylacine. By imagining their lives, by trying to understand the depth of their family bonds, we do more than just mourn their loss. We honor their existence. We remember that every species, no matter how strange or different, has a world of its own, full of relationships, learning, and love. Thinking about the Thylacine family in this way changes how we see them. They are no longer just a museum specimen or a grainy photograph. They become living, breathing beings in our minds, parents raising their young against the backdrop of a world that was rapidly changing around them. It's a story of resilience, of devotion, and ultimately, of heartbreaking loss. But by telling their story, by keeping the memory of their family life alive, we ensure they are not forgotten. We are reminded of the profound interconnectedness of all life and our solemn responsibility to protect the families of the wild that are still with us today. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the lost world of the Thylacine. If you found this story moving, please consider subscribing for more explorations into the wonders of the natural world.